This episode's brought to you by Aura Frames and Shady Rays, but we'll tell you about that later. What's up and welcome back to the Kinda Funny Gamescast for Tuesday, November 11th, 2025. Of course, I'm your host, Tim Geddes. I am joined today by Blessing Adeoye Jr.
Good day, Tim.
Greg Miller.
Hello, Timothy.
And Andy Cortez.
Hey, Tim. Man, this little Asus ROG Xbox Ally putting out some heat, warming my tendrils.
Yeah. You have cold little tendies right now?
Right now. A little bit chilly in here, but this is really hitting the spot right now.
Well,
how does the Y button still get stuck?
No, it's the way you do it. Only when you do it. Look, fine. Then you come in here with your Mountain Dew
I have strong fingers, man.
You're doing something weird. You're doing some kind of snake push on it. That's what you're doing.
Doing a snake push, everybody. Remember, this is the Kinda Funny Gamescast. Each and every weekday, we get together to talk about the biggest reviews, previews, and topics in video games live on YouTube, Twitch, and podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, please support us with the Kinda Funny membership on Patreon, YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcast to get all of our shows ad-free and get a daily exclusive show. For a chance to be part of this show, YouTube super chat in, and we'll get to it as we go, except we won't because this is pre-recorded.
We're pre-recording this one. Yes. Ben's got the day off school, and I got to be here to talk about Lumines Arise. Then PlayStation saying, hey, we're going to do the state of play. That sucks.
I'm excited.
What the hell?
I'm excited.
Well, why are they doing it on a day where I got to stay home with my kids?
Who was on Games Daily? It wasn't you.
No, it was
Roger.
Yeah, me and Rutch.
Yeah. Predictions.
Let's see. We talked about possible hints of Stellar Blade 2, maybe like Final Fantasy Part 3, right? We talked about like Kingdom Hearts 4 probably not going to be there.
Night Rain DLC.
Night Rain DLC and Phantom Blade 0 release year.
Yeah. They told us they're going to tell us this year what year it'll release.
Well, I haven't gotten it.
I was listening to the KHD. My favorite was Roger bringing up Deca Police. And I was like, wow, what a deep pull. I've not heard Deca Police in years. That's crazy that Roger is able to remember that. And then 30 minutes later while I'm at my desk, I look to the left and I see Roger's monitor. And there's a Game Rant article of top 10 upcoming Japanese games. And Deca Police was on his screen. I was like, this motherfucker.
That's what you got to do. It's no like Mike during Fantasy Critic typing in hello games.
Everything game.
No Man's Sky game.
Oh, man. A little housekeeping for you. We're an 11-person business, all about live talk shows. Of course, you already got an episode of Kinda Funny Games Daily talking about all the biggest stories in video games. After this, we're doing a sponsored Goodnight Universe stream. Then we're live reacting and reviewing the PlayStation State of Play, which I'm very excited about. I'm not expecting Final Fantasy here, only because I'm convinced it's at Game Awards. But hey, I'll be pleasantly surprised if it's there tomorrow, or today, if you're watching.
Yeah, we were mentioning it's not. It will always be weird until it happens, and this being the first time this has happened, there's no precedent set. We have no idea why would they do this if not to announce some cool bangers.
It is weird too that, not to go too far into this because that was what Games Daily yesterday was about. But they're calling it State of Play Japan. But then in the description, they're like, but we're also covering a lot of other Asian territories. So it's I wonder, is the focus? I don't know. Something about that's just...
Well, that's why I'm assuming, Phantom Blade 0 and a lot of the Project China Hero or whatever.
China Hero Project.
I got to assume there's, going to be some announcements around there as well.
Asia.
Yeah.
Why call it Japan?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're not wrong, Tim.
Anyways, if you're a Kinda Funny member, today's Greg Way is a Roger joint, so you can check that out. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs, Omega Buster, and Delaney, the Psalm Twining. For now, we'll start with the topic of the show. Lumines, Aries.
Oh,
that's how they call it.
That's a brand new way to say Lumines, Lumines, Lumines.
You're doing your best Nick Scarpino impression.
Lumines Arise is a video game that you all know about, and if you don't, you better find out, because the Steam description is as follows. A mind-blowing, fiendishly addictive reinvention of the puzzle classic Lumines from the creators of Tetris Effect Connected, where sound pulses through your body, mind, and every block you place, triggering dazzling visuals synced to the driving beat of an infectious, eclectic soundtrack. The developer and publisher is Enhance, and it is out today. Greg Miller.
Hi.
I got to start with you.
No, but I want to start with Bless.
Okay.
Really?
Everyone hears me yell about Lumines all the time. I just did my top 10, or the games that define me. Lumines is on there. Lumines is in my gamer DNA. Guess what? I liked this one. I don't know much about Bless. He hasn't talked to me about it, and I want to know about Bless.
Andy, you didn't touch this one, right?
Yeah, I played a little bit of it. Yeah,
we'll
a couple
get to you
hours.
at the end. We'll get to you at the end. Bless, then. What are your thoughts on Luminous Arise?
I adore this video game. I've played through the entire thing. I've not beaten the last level because the last level is pretty tough. So I'm still working my way through that. But I would say this experience has been even better than Tetris Effect. And I love Tetris Effect.
That's my guy.
But
That's my
Luminous
guy.
Arise, I think, as a video game, as an experience, is better than Tetris Effect. Even though I would still say that.
Wow.
Well, don't clap yet, because I would still say Tetris overall better than Luminous. All right? Still, Tetris is a better puzzle game. But Luminous Arise is better than Tetris
Arise
Effect.
over Effect.
Arise over Effect. And
I'll take it. I'll take the W.
the reason I say that is
That
because
sounds like a cool album, like a Linkin Park.
this feels like an enhanced studio learning everything they learned, or learning everything that they could have from making Tetris Effect and applying it in even a greater degree in Luminous Arise. Everything's just enhanced from music to visuals and all the above. And so I really enjoyed this one. I'll give it a 9 out of 10 on the Kind of Funny scale.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah.
On the Kind of
Amazing
Funny
video
scale.
game.
I love that. Greg, what are your top level thoughts on Luminous Arise?
As I've already said, I've been with Luminous as long as anybody could be with Luminous. I love this franchise, this game, this IP. To start and make it clear, Luminous, period. The game of, hey, we're taking, these blocks of 4, dropping down, trying to make 2x2s of the same color, is a 10 out of 10 game, an experience unlike anything else. Again, when it comes, I love Tetris. I love Luminous more just as a base game. This is what you're doing. So when you get into, hey, there's a new Luminous come out, for me, it comes down to a bunch of different stuff, and it's all really wrapped up in presentation. For me, I think this is an 8.5. I think this is great. I think they have and will probably always continue to struggle with making Luminous cool outside of the game, if that makes sense. When you're doing what you just saw in that game, fantastic, great. How do you make player progression in that matter? We're making these new characters called Lumines, and we're unlocking things for their bellies and their faces and like bunny ears and shit. And it's like, I don't care about any of that, and I don't need to care. As you see the little guy with his block over there, there's that Lumi. But it's one of those of like, okay, this is weird and ethereal. When you step onto the main menu, very empty and ethereal, but they're still trying to do stuff and have this thing. When you go through and you unlock new names and new monikers, you go into assign them, and they're not all the new ones you've unlocked are at the top. They're just spread out between the 100. So you're scrolling, looking for gamer. There it is, gamer. And it's like, these are all considerable nitpicks. The game of Luminous is awesome. One of my complaints playing it, or then when you're playing, you're thinking about what you're going to review the game. I was like, God damn, screen's busier than ever. And to the point of like, there's one level in this, right, of the broccolis and the tomatoes. All right, I'm matching broccolis and tomatoes, Tim, and you're chopping them up and they're exploding. And I was missing blocks because the effects were covering the thing. And I was like, I started I'm like, maybe it'll just be an 8 then. And then of course you can go into the accessibility settings, turn all that shit off. We just have it just be gameplay if you want to be a weird psycho like me and just be gameplay and do that. Like, it's an incredible game. I think if you like Luminous or have never played it, you're in for a treat. It's just like beyond the main course of playing the game, we get into the accoutrements because we know Luminous is a 10 out of 10. What does it do around that to package it? It does a great job doing that, I think. Could be better. I think they could streamline a bunch of things, but they have a vision of they want you to be these bunny characters or whatever you want to put on your Lumi and go out and do it.
That's so interesting because I never even thought about the Lumies. Like, for me, they're just there. Like, they're never a feature that I interacted with.
Yeah.
And for me, this is also my first Luminous game. And so maybe because I'm coming to it fresher, it's hitting a lot harder for me.
I think one of the things about Luminous in particular is when you talk to people about Luminous, you are going to find a varied answer as what is Luminous? What do you play Luminous for, right? They have online, they have local multiplayer, they have online head-to-head multiplayer and burst mode. You have your little red face there on your avatar or on your little banner that tells you like what your battle rank is. I'm never going to care about that. I'll go in and do the community thing. They do these weekend events where we all like play and like your progress unlocks a fucking astronaut projection. I don't know. That's what it was this weekend. You know what I mean? Like, again, weird stuff to give you another reason to play in another thing, but like you're talking about like, the journey mode, right, of going through and playing the whole story. For me, I was like, all right, let's get it done, let's get it done, because of course Luminous is all about how long can you go. That it's the marathon mode. That's what Lumines is, limitless for me. So like when I got through what I consider the tutorial of the actual like, hey, here all the things go, then it's like cool. Now there's the new mode of just play. How long can you stay alive?
Because for me that was the game. Like
Oh,
when
sure.
you're calling the tutorial, for me that was the experience.
But again, like, and I think there's so many people who will go at it and just, I'm here for battling and head to head in the online thing, which is never going to be what I want to touch, right? So for me, it is that thing of like, what am I doing as a single player marathon mode, going through and playing that? What is it rewarding with? What does it challenge me? What's it keeping coming back for?
I want to circle back to
Please.
this, Greg, talking about the multiplayer stuff. But first, I want to get Andy's thoughts on this from your limited experience.
I've only played 2 hours. I'm glad that I remembered that we got codes for this one. I knew I wasn't really assigned to review it, but it's one that I thoroughly enjoyed the demo of during Steam Next Fest. I happened to pop into that. As somebody who never, I don't really play a whole lot of Tetris. Even when Tetris Effect was all the rage, it's something I never really sought out to go get. And I've played it here and there, but it just doesn't hit for me the way it does for everybody else. But yeah, this game is awesome. While I was streaming that demo, I had to remind myself that I was trying to be entertaining and try to make content, because I would just get so laser focused and in the best ways. And not in a way that it's like, oh, I would just like lose myself in like how awesome this experience is and how it just kind of takes over all of your senses. The soundtrack is fantastic.
Awesome.
The way the way all the visuals evolve, I love their different interpretations for like, all right, this new level, here's what we're doing with the shapes now, and maybe it's different color schemes, and it's just a totally different theme in total. I really, really enjoy what little I've played of it. Again, I'm glad that I remember that I had a code for it, because I think I've heard Bless and Greg talk about it. I was like, oh shit, oh my god, we have those. I definitely got to like start that up. And I was reviewing Possessors at the time, so I decided to kind of like take a break from that, play a bit of Lumines, and really, really enjoy my time with it. And it's something I want to get back to. I keep on thinking of the last name Maness and the first name Lewis. And it's like, hey, my name's Lou. Yeah.
Louis Maness.
Louis Maness.
That's all I hear right now. But yeah, super enjoyed my time with it. I along with Tim, I wanted to get back to like, what would Greg improve on this to kind of make the whole experience a better package?
For me personally, I would go one of two ways, and that would be to either strip out all the stuff surrounding it, the Lumies, what I'm unlocking here. Let's just make it a high scoring affair, which I think does alienate then maybe competitive people. But again, for me with Lumines, I think you're always going to be competing. Whether it is, hey, I'm competing head to head with somebody locally, head to head with somebody online. I'm just trying to beat my own high score. I'm just trying to last as long as you can playing it. I think that's what the meat and potatoes of Lumines is. And granted, this is all parsley and set dressing. I admit that, right? But as somebody who's played every Lumines, I was excited to jump in here after, it's been how many years? 20 years since 20 years since I played it on PSP, right? Like I would want a better reward structure, a more interesting, what am I doing, what ladder am I chasing, what skills am I filling in, what that kind of stuff, what set dressing am I really doing here, than what you get here, what I think is a very bare bones main menu, right, of playlist, your Lumipon, multiplayer missions, or this. And the missions are
it looks like the Vita home screen. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah,
sure,
It's
I can
like
see that.
so Sony coded, like old school Sony Japan coded.
100%, and that's a great way of putting it. It is old school Sony Japan coded. So yeah, I either rip it away and make it just menus and text, and I'm going straight to the next thing to go into it, rather than feel like I have to drift my. And again, this is nitpicky shit. The game's fucking awesome. Go buy it. I love Lumines. Float over my Lumipon to go do this. To get into this thing.
So what I'm caught up on is the multiplayer side, that you sound not interested in one side, but interested just in the events and stuff. But like, this is the one game I know Greg Miller's good at, right? You told so many stories.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, you have to understand too, like, this is Rocky 5. I haven't boxed in a while, so I come back and it's like, I feel really good. No, I was just checking. I mean, this is, whatever. It's
Happy birthday, Polly.
It's pre-rank, right? And like right now, what? Thank you. It took me a second. You figure for the survival marathon game right now, I'm 7th in the world. Not bad. Now that's, with a limited number of press reviewers.
I have to stop the podcast just full on right now. Did you hear what Andy just did? Do you know what that?
You made a Rocky 5 reference.
Well, it was Rocky 4 reference, but do you know what that was?
I think I know around it.
You probably know it from
Would you believe that it's a
Oh, it's a robot. It's the robot. Yeah.
There's a robot in Rocky IV.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Polly.
What's funny is the same voice I imagine you use when you're trying to do the Smiling
Chappie.
Friends character.
Oh, Alan?
Yeah, Alan. Yeah.
Anyways,
Mr.
So, anyways,
Boss.
yeah. But again, to your point, like the multiplayer, like leaderboards and stuff, yeah, like that matters to me in terms of what I play it for. And again, breaking it up, right? So the Journey Survival, which is the marathon mode, right? Right now, number 7. Not, I can be better than that. I need to practice. Look at there. Who's that? Godfrey, number 5. Danny Pena, right in front of me. And then look at Jesus, Wario 64, number 3. Jesus Christ, Wario 64. Post a deal. Don't be playing video games. Look at that. You know what I mean? So anyways, like that's drawn to me. Yeah, but I don't, for me, I've never had a competition aspect. Everything you ever see me get competitive about, I'm faking it because I'm just doing a character. When I yell at Tim on Showdown, Tim's way better than me at Showdown, and I don't like losing, but I lose all the time. So like in this, it's like, okay, cool. Like I don't go to the rankings, but I am very much like shit. I only lasted in survival. Like this is how you know I'm out of practice. My first survival run, I finally unlock it. I jump in there. I only made it like an hour and a half. I should be doing 2.5 hours of Lumines right there. All right, that's a fucking chump change. That's bullshit right there. I gotta get back in the gym, but there's so many goddamn redacteds we have to do.
Get in
so many
mid-season
things to
form,
review.
big dog.
You know what I mean? But that's the excitement for me of it. Of like Lumines is a game. Arise is a game that will never leave my Steam Deck. I have it on PlayStation as well. My laptop out there, whatever. Like that's always going to be a thing of. All right, cool. Like I'm doing whatever, and I'm bored with it on the plane, and then it's like, wait. What if I just did a run of Lumines right now? Or I try to go back and reset my high scores because in Journey there's the survival and then there's these like pods of 4 as you go, like broken up things, and you get rankings on those too. And it's like for those, like I said, I beat them, and I think for most of them like seed them. You know what I mean? Maybe you got a B or whatever, and it's like it was just to get to here's Journey mode of survival. Let's go. So I do need to go back to those and get those to S rank because that's kind of psycho I am of like how I is. But here's something else I'd like to bring up in terms of psychoses. Something I roll my eyes at a lot is the one and only Forbes 30 under 30, aka second best baby Lou's in San Francisco, aka expectant father Tim Geddes.
Yeah.
Because he's always so particular about his D-pads.
Mm-hmm.
This D-pad on the ROG, just not getting it done for Lumines.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I miss my fucking Vita. I miss my fucking PSP. I miss that detached those buttons there. You know, it's a heartbreaker out there.
It is. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I make do. do.
It's the DualSense.
I had a question that may not apply as much to Blessing, seeing as like Lumines hasn't always been his sort of jam, and it may be more of a Greg question. But you saying that like this Lumines Arise will never leave your devices, right?
Mhm.
Are we kind of in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe versus Mario Kart World territory where it's like this is the new jam? Mario Kart World is going to be the thing, but when Mario Kart World came out, there were still people going, "Well, 8 Deluxe is still going to be." Like the one that I go to for that experience. Do you see this version taking over any other Lumines for you in the future?
Yeah, I do. I think, and that's how it really is. You know, when we did the 10 games that define you, I picked Electronic Symphony from the PlayStation Vita's catalog.
Okay.
I like the back touch mechanic they had there for increasing your
What did that do?
I was actually trying to Google it because I'm so rusty on it. You'd have to look it up because I'm talking. But you tapped, and I forget what it did to up your score or whatever. I liked that back in the day, and I don't love burst mode. How do you feel about burst? This is a mechanic.
feelings about burst as in like the mechanic, yeah.
So there's this
like
new
it.
mechanic inside of it, right? As you match your blocks and do it, your burst meter is filling it up at the
Right.
top. And when you played, sorry. If you don't know, everybody, you're filling in this meter. You see a thing going across, and it's like 5%, 10%, blah blah blah. When it gets to 50, you can do a short one, but they want you to get to 100, where basically then the line keeps going, but nothing has to fall. You make it fall.
It's like Tetris Effect has the same thing.
Exactly. And so you're trying to match all the colored bricks into one giant thing to really go crazy and burst it out. I got in there and I was like, I don't fully get it. Okay. And then like on my first playthrough, second world, I popped the Steam achievement for hitting 100. And I was like, I got this shit. And I've not been able to get back to 100 in so long. You know what I mean? Where I'm doing like fucking 28s, 38s. This ain't going to get it done, Tim. You know what I mean?
I'm so
So
bad
it's
at
like-
this game, so that's like really cool to me.
But I want to jump in a
Please.
second after you because like this very much feels like I'm reviewing a different game the way you are, and it reminds me of like when you see people who are like, I guess the fighting game analogy for me, when I see a fighting game professional talk about the latest Street Fighter and how they're all like they have nitpicks on all these other things, where I'm like, oh man, I liked how the game looked and like I liked how the game looks, I like how the game plays, and I'm not thinking about it on that level. Hearing you talk about all this shit, where I'm like, oh damn, I like the burst mechanic because it makes the game easy for a second. Because I am like,
And that's
I'm
true.
hanging in there. You
Oh
know?
yeah, totally. Yeah, I get that, and I, for the record, I love that, and that's why I wanted you to go first, because I know I'm gonna have such a weird old head take on the whole fucking thing versus like you in it and really enjoying it. And there it was. I knew I almost had it, but I didn't want to say it. So when you're tapping, each one of the different avatars in Electronic Symphony had different abilities. And so when we were tapping the back touch, you were powering them up to then unleash them. And stuff. I thought that was a really cool thing. I forget what my piggy guy had, but I use the piggy guy a lot.
I want to go back to like talking about the actual core game, because we have there's Tetris. We all understand what Tetris is, and then Tetris Effect. What is the difference there? It's the crazy visuals, it is the music, and it's kind of the tying those things together with the gameplay to create this like emotional sensation, right? Luminous already kind of had some of those parts, right?
Because if you like Tetris Effect, you better fucking kiss the ring of Luminous. It was there first for a reason.
Where it is, combining gameplay with music in a literal way because of the way that the line moves at the speed of the BPM and all that, right? So that was there in the PSP one, PS Vita one, and obviously now. So this just kind of seems like taking two great ideas and meshing them together in a way that the Luminous always had cool visual effects, but this is a completely different level. Greg, you seem to not necessarily think that's the right move, though. You wanting to turn that off. Is that there was a percentage of the time you want to turn it off, or overall,
it was specific
is it just
levels?
Too much?
No. Well, first off, I didn't even bother diving into accessibility until about 10 minutes ago, where I was like, until I was looking through the reviewer's guide and they had a thing call out of like, hey, by the way, I was like, oh shit. So no, it's not like it was so detrimental to the experience, but in terms of trying to figure out how do you critique something that's 20 years old and hasn't, don't get offended, changed that much, right? If you played a lot of Lumines Arise and then you jumped back into Lumines PSP, don't get me wrong, there'd be a big step up in visuals and but like you'd know what you're doing pretty quickly in terms of what it is.
So okay, then let me put this in a more positive way. Does it add to it? Does this make this a more definitive Luminous experience, adding all of this stuff?
I mean, definitive. I don't like using definitive here because I don't think there's been Luminesces I've been disappointed in. I remember I didn't think Lumines 2 really pushed that far. I remember when they finally brought Lumines 1 to PS3 on the PSN. It was a very basic port of what it was like that. So it's like I don't know if we've ever searched for. And this is back to like different kind of gamers. I've never been the gamer to sit there and be like, this was the definitive Madden. You know what I mean? I've played a lot of Maddens, and there's always something I like or don't like about them, and not recently. But, it's that idea of like, but you talk to Mike, and Mike's like, no, Madden, blah, blah, 07 or whatever is, and I'm like, okay, shit, I don't even remember what the fuck that was. It's a similar thing here where it's always learning. Luminous is always learning from each other, and that's because Enhance has done it for so long and loves it so much. The fact that this game still exists is incredible, because again, it wasn't moving millions of units anytime it's come out. So to get here, like, is it definitive? Yeah, probably. The music's fucking awesome. The visuals, I think, get in the way of the gameplay, but I think that's when you're talking to somebody like me who's like, I want to make sure I'm doing everything perfectly right, and I'm following my block mentality here. I have a game plan, Andy. You know what I mean?
Really?
You got block fundamentals you need to be using out there. So I know when I'm dropping, I'm putting there, and if something gets covered up by a piece of goddamn broccoli, you know what I mean? The lizard's tail or whatever. But
broccoli turns into cabbage later on.
It does.
I'll tell you what I fucking hate, man. I hate like the A, B, B, A blocks.
Well, you get used to them.
Hate them.
Because this
So bad at
to
the
Greg's
game.
block knowledge thing, I think that's a big
Blockage.
part. The blockage. That's a big part of my evolution with the game, to where like halfway through, I'm starting to see the matrix in a way where I couldn't tell you what the strategy is with words. All I know is that if you sit me down in front of the blocks, I can tell you exactly how they need to shift and like turn at the last second and like the way to organize them. It's the Tetris effect thing where you just start to see the matrix all of a sudden. I started to scratch the matrix a little bit in this game, which is super sad.
have you done the tutorials? Or the challenges? What are they
I
called?
started doing the tutorials, but I was like, this kind of lasted too long, because they'll get you in there and they're like, drop
Missions.
it down. And I'm like, all right, cool, I dropped it. And they're like, now match 2 blocks with 2 blocks. And I'm like, I'm not
Back
doing
that
all this
ass up.
shit. Back that ass up.
Tim talking about definitive editions, for me, I think, if anything, this just feels like the modern way to play it. This feels like the thing to show people who never played Lumines in their life but want to be wowed and mesmerized by a cool sonic and visual experience. This is the thing that, like, well, yeah, don't play the one on PSP or whatever console we're talking about. Play the one that just came out, because it's going to kind of be a lot more visually stimulating and, kind of wow you, and you're going to tapping your head to the beat going like, holy shit, this is really good right now.
With the music obviously being such a huge part of this, like, do you think, Greg, that
I
this
know.
lives-
Look at Bless coming back watching Lumines gameplay for the PSP. Hell
Because
yeah.
I need to understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
for me, I'm like this is such a mind-blowing experience of a game for me, as far as like what it brings to the table visually and musically in a way.
And I mean,
so I kind of
clearly,
want to go back and see
if
what
you want to throw it to
did.
assets so they can throw it up or whatever, like, let's have a real conversation, because I want to make sure I'm being clear, and I don't think I'm being negative, nor am I'm being a super fan, I guess. I don't know. Like, clearly, this game, Lumines Arise, looks way better than the PSP version in terms of visual quality.
absolutely
fidelity.
different goals?
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but you also look at the PSP one and you're like, I get it. I see.
This
You
is
see the
gameplay
same game you
focused,
just
yeah.
saw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how long I've been playing this game.
It's Tetris versus Tetris Effect. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
the difference is the music. So, do you think that this is the best music in Luminous? Does this fit the gameplay better than the other ones, or is it even different?
No, it's not that different. This is Luminous. This is what it's always been, right? Where it's like, right now, I couldn't say it or put it into words because I'm not you, Tim. You are so musically talented in terms of being able to hear things and talk about music in a way I'm just not educated enough. But like, the standout track for me here is I'm facing my fears, not backing away,
Yeah.
and I'm rising. And it's like that. You could tell me, oh, that's from Luminous 1. And I'd be like, oh, man, I remember shake your body, shake your body, shake your body down to the ground. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have the track, but like, this sounds just like the games I remember. Nothing here sounds like, oh my God, what? This is so outside of what it should have been, or blah, blah, blah. Like, this is it. And I think, again, as we watch the PSP gameplay, like, granted, their effects are just pulsating things right around the fucking UI, but you can see the DNA that becomes crazy ass shit happening on the screen, and again, works for it, I think.
I'm about to
I
ask
think-
you a question, Greg, that I almost don't know if I want the answer to, but I'm prepared.
Okay.
How much are you playing this game without any audio?
Oh, no,
Thank
no,
God.
Tim,
Thank
no,
God.
no.
Thank God. There's
I
a
am-
chance. There's a chance.
I am a complete psychopath. Everyone knows that, and I am a weirdo. And there will come a day with Lumines Arise where, yes, I need to do something or I'm whatever, and I just do it. But no, Lumines is destination viewing. That is destination listening. You know what I mean? This is earbuds in, I'm gone. I respect Lumines so much, as you know. Like, I've been playing a lot of redacted games on the couch next to Jen while she watches stuff. Can't do Lumines. And in the same way, can't do Lumines in the bedroom either, because that fucking that goddamn buttons on this
Oh.
thing are so fucking loud.
Man, I heard
I'm hitting my
you-
buttons
I heard
way
you
too much.
clacking
Yeah.
storm away.
So no. Like, this has been destination viewing, and like, I get excited. Like, oh man, I'm gonna get on the Peloton tonight. I'm gonna play some Luminous.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Long
Hello,
can go.
Gun.
Yeah.
Crazy.
As somebody who never played the old Luminous,
Yeah.
for me, it's like Tim talking about how much does that audio really change the experience. And to me, it's like, if I can get to where the song opens up more,
Oh yeah.
I know I'm making a lot of progress.
Yes.
And not only is it a
Good
progress
feeling.
marker, but it sounds and looks awesome. And the visuals change. And now it's like, oh shit, now these instruments have joined along with, now there's vocals and now there's like a guitar to go along with that beat, whatever it may be. That's like a really awesome feeling to hit. I really wish that you could like maybe select different color schemes. I kind of hope that maybe that's something they experiment with, because one of the levels I love the most is like where the orbs are white and purple. Like, oh, it'd be cool if you could, once you hit a progress marker, those colors completely change to something else visually. And maybe that's just more of a customization thing, but I would love to see different kind of color schemes, mainly just from an like a visual appealing point.
Bless, any closing words here on Luminous Arise?
Yeah, I mean, for me, this was such an audio-visual experience. Like, it's so fascinating hearing Greg talk about it, because I think I had such the opposite thing where I busted out my PlayStation VR 2 to play this game. Like, I brought it to the office and played probably most of this game in PlayStation VR 2.
How long did it take you, by the way, to do the journey mode?
Oh, that's a good question. I kind of lost track. I want to say maybe 5 to 6 hours, like maybe more, because I was failing a lot too. Like, this is also a learning experience of,
Sure.
How am I supposed to play Lumines? It doesn't come as naturally as Tetris, because Tetris is like, all right, just got to make a line. But to Andy's point, when you got like the A, B, B, A blocks, and it's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this, right? Like, that was me for maybe the first couple of levels of Journey, until I started to figure out how to like stack those on top of the thing so it can drop down and match perfectly,
I almost hit you with what you hit Cool Greg with that one time that he was playing a VR game when you looked at him and you said, whoa, he's in VR. Like, we were like, oh shit, Bless is in right now.
And there's a big up for this one and like a slight down here where the up is that I do think I think VR enhances the experience, right? I think VR, you get some extra effects there. You get fully submerged into the game in a way that, like, for this kind of thing that is doing so much on the audiovisual side, I think is additive. In this pre-release review version that we have that I'm pretty sure they're fixing. They sent like a list of bug fixes that they're doing, and one of the bullet points they had seemed like it was around this issue. I would have an issue where sometimes if I'd fail, if I hit like pause on the game and look at my phone or whatever, because you have like these levels last a little bit long, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like I'll look at my phone between a thing before I jump back in. When I jump back in, the UI just locks and like doesn't work, and it's a very obvious bug where it's like I have to restart the game every single time. So I stopped playing the game in VR after a while because of that. Again, I'm pretty sure they're fixing this in the patch notes. But like outside of that, right? Like I just had such a good time playing this game from just the experience perspective, right? I love the journey mode, and I don't know if I'm gonna go back to this thing for the high score chasing, but also, you know, between this and Tetris Effect, like I do like the idea of being able to hop in for one session, be like, all right, let's drop some blocks and then get out. You know, for me, I'm not gonna uninstall it for that similar reason.
You've said a lot, but any closing words, Greg?
Great game. And again, I think I'm looking back right now, I'm rereading my Lumines Electronic Symphony review from IGN, which I gave a 9. So we're right there. You can see how much I respect that. That's my favorite Luminous of all time, to be here talking about this. Again, the nitpicks, right, are just like, I don't love the presentation of anything outside of it. I don't love what I'm grinding for when you look back at Electronic Symphony, you're talking about unlocking different avatar things or whatever like that. Like, again, nitpicky for sure, but I think it's what makes this a weaker version in terms of a gameplay. But again, Lumines period is a 10 out of 10 game of what you're doing. So if you've never played a Lumines, or you're like, I haven't played one in a long time, there's enough to come back for here with the new skins, the new songs.
I haven't played since BSB, so this is definitely a winter break game for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, Lumines is Lumines 10 out of 10 masterpiece kind of gameplay. I think this version, Lumines Arises, an 8.5 great.
We will be right back talking about another game right after a quick word from our sponsor. This episode's brought to you by Aura Frames. Aura Frames are the one gift that never get old. It's the perfect gift to bring your loved ones closer and share memories every single day. No lie, Aura Frames are undeniably the best gift I have ever given. Families, friends, partners, have beautiful frames showing off their loved ones and all of their favorite memories. Aura frames are incredibly smart and easy to use, allowing you to upload unlimited photos and videos directly from your phone to the frame. Plus, you can order the frame online and preload it with photos and videos using the Aura app, so it's all ready to go right out of the box when you gift it to somebody. Named #1 by Wirecutter, you can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com. For a limited time, listeners can get $20 off their best-selling Carver matte frame with the code AURA20. That's AURA frames.com, promo code AURA20. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. This episode is brought to you by Shady Rays. Let's talk gifts. Not the kind that get tossed in a drawer, but the kind that actually get used and appreciated. The holidays are coming up fast, and Shady Rays sunglasses are an easy win. You don't even need to think about it. I'm doing the work for you. Every pair is polarized, durable, and lightweight. They've got a ton of great-looking, high-performance styles that hold up no matter what you throw at them. And the price? Way less than you would expect for the quality. And here's what sets them apart. If you lose or break your shades, Shady Rays has your back with their lost and broken protection. No hassle, just a solid guarantee. So whether you're picking up a pair for someone on your list or grabbing one for yourself, Shady Rays makes gifting simple. Quality built, looks great, and actually worth it. Start your holiday gifting early and head to shadyrays.com and use code FUNNY for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Shadyrays.com, use code FUNNY. And we're back, everybody, with the second game to talk about, Possessors. Possessors is a fast-paced action side-scroller with combat inspired by platform fighters, a story told through dangerous characters set in a deep, interconnected world ready for exploration. The developer is Heart Machine, the publisher is Devolver Digital. It is out today. I played about an hour of it. Bless played about an hour of it. Andy Cortez has played a lot more. I want to hear your thoughts.
I have played close to 12 hours of Possessors.
Ooh.
only because I kept pushing myself through.
Oh, but you love Heart Machine.
I do. And I even really like Hyper Light Breaker, even though that, largely was not reviewed very well. A lot of people had plenty of issues with it. But this is one that I was really, really looking forward to and have been severely let down by. Played the Steam Next Fest demo whenever that was, probably several months ago, and immediately saw the vision, saw some cool moments of art direction. There's a spot where you are playing this young girl who's partnered up with a demon who's sort of like half kind of possessing her, and the shot zooms out, and it's a beautiful, cool looking landscape with awesome color schemes and visuals, and you're like, whoa, man, they're cooking with this one. And the combat is definitely fun enough. I'm going to introduce this little segment called Here Are the Enjoy Cons. What I enjoyed and the cons.
Okay, love it.
I like this.
Art design. I think the visual sort of identity of this game is very, very appealing. I think it has a neat kind of menu system. I like the character art, the splash art whenever you talk to characters and NPCs. Very kind of Hades inspired with, here's the way the characters look, but we're also going to add little cool color highlights on everybody. I also really enjoy that the main characters have a lot of different sort of like emotive looks to them whenever they are feeling a certain way. You're not just seeing the same character grinning or whatever. It's like, here's the angry version of her. Here's the version of her who's like more kind of, smiling and cute or whatever. And this one, she's pissed off right now. I think the art design's awesome. I think the combat, you mentioning that it's, supposed to be reminiscent of like platform fighters. I really enjoy the sort of combo nature of it. When they put out a tweet a couple weeks ago saying this combat's supposed to feel like Smash Bros. That's what we were inspired by. And yeah, I would kind of agree with that. The way that, juggling enemies works, when you hit somebody up against the ceiling of something, they bounce right off, and you can keep on, juggling them in the air, keep on attacking, keep that chain going. It's super satisfying to do once you start unlocking a lot of these moves. And that's kind of unfortunately where where the things that I enjoyed are. That's all that there really is. Because for the rest of the experience, for this being a Metroidvania that requires a whole lot of backtracking, I don't know if I've experienced a Metroidvania that you have been more frustrated with the direction and with the navigation for, and because you're lost, and then you finally find a room and it's just some extra bullshit that you don't need. Like the amount that has happened in this video game compared to other Metroidvanias, like it's insane to me. And a lot of it is, I think there are just so many more interesting titles to be playing right now. And that's like what I would tell anybody who is interested in Possessors is, like, to me, there are too many good titles to settle for something this underwhelming. Like, this is such a... I'm not going to put a score in it, but I'd be like around 5 out of 10 right now if I were to give it a score. But again, I've played like maybe a fourth or a third of it.
But you're not coming back.
I stopped around 8 hours and I was like, I'm so done with this. And then I came back and played about an hour and a half more. I'm so done. And I kept on doing that. Like, there has to be some silver lining that I'm missing here. And it could be that these reviews come out and it's like, oh shit, I must have missed something really amazing. Maybe I got to get back to this. But like, I cannot see where this game is hiding any positives. I think it starts off with a really cool, appealing story at first of your character immediately. Like, this world is being invaded by demons and stuff. And she gets her legs blown off and she's like crawling, and it's like this really, really kind of fucked up scene. And she sees a demon sitting there also hurt. And the demon's like, hey, I can get you your legs back if you help me get back home. And you're like, oh, cool. I guess I'm going to team up with you, even though you're kind of one of the bad guys. And you start to kind of unlock, fairly interesting character arcs between both of this young girl that you play and the sexy demon dude that you unlock. Yeah, super sexy looking. And again, I think the game starts off super interesting and just continues to get more and more disappointing. I also think that the animations feel like very rushed. This feels like a game that needed a lot more time, and they definitely didn't have a whole lot more time because, as you all know, Heart Machine had a lot of layoffs many months ago, and then a couple weeks ago they had even more layoffs. And I think whether it's their social person or their PR person, I forget, but them mentioning on Blue Sky, like, I don't know if the whole Possessors team will be around by the time this game comes out, because they just laid off a lot of the Possessors team, which is super, super unfortunate. But yeah, so a lot of this game outside of those first couple of hours feels very, very rushed. And I'm trying not to be too doom and gloom and like overly mean spirited about this, but this has the worst progression I've ever experienced in a game. Like the things that you are unlocking these attacks, and each attack you can eventually use your souls or whatever your currency is to affix an item to it. So the weapons you're unlocking are kind of everyday items. Is
that why she had a hockey stick?
Yeah, your melee weapons are like kitchen knives.
Got it.
And then I put my special weapon on a computer mouse, and you kind of use it to like whip up, and it does a lot of damage, and it like shoots enemies up into the air, and it's really kind of cool to get that rhythm down. And then you could upgrade those weapons to add little affixes to them. You could affix little items to them, and it's your Elden Ring talents have been blessed. It's now I'm gonna regenerate health slowly, or now I will do more damage, or I will get more health back whenever I dodge at the right time. And the way in which that you unlock these things has got to be the most frustrating thing I've ever experienced, where there's these little like rat dudes that are like possessed by a spirit, I guess, but they're the ones that help you unlock these items. But not all of them, they're all different shops. Not all of them sell the same thing, and not all of them do the same thing. And like one of them allows you to get more health back whenever you use your heals. And I must have found that guy a while back. I don't know where that guy is anymore.
And I'm just like desperately looking for him.
I have gone to every vendor, and every vendor, like, you know, navigation isn't great. You're early in the Metroidvania. You're not going to have fast travel. I understand that. But it still does kind of suck to kind of use this subway system. And I think the game does its hardest to be original with its systems and say like, well, that Metroidvania does this. Our Metroidvania, we're going to do this with progression. And I don't even know if that's what the direction they were wanting, but I think trying to be original, like, just copy what the other people are doing and make
it works for a reason. It's popular for a reason.
Exactly. Make those systems a lot more appealing, because thinking about this game reminds me a lot of when I got to check out Phantom Blade Zero, and how the devs were talking about how when you're not Hidetaka Miyazaki and From Software, you don't have the leeway that other devs have. And if you frustrate your player base, they will say, this isn't a FromSoft game, I'm done. Like, you kind of you have a lot less of a leash. And this game for me, it's like in a year where we have Silksong, and Hades 2, and past years of Metroidvanias, thinking of how immaculately designed Prince of Persia Lost Crown is. It's like
also a platform fighter Metroidvania.
Yes, like this game isn't doing enough to be as frustrating as it is. Like, it's too frustrating for me to want to keep going for a game that I've started up so many times to go like, no, there has to be something there.
I have to find the fun here. The fun must be here.
I think some of the boss fights can be fun with how the combat is generated, and you have a parry, and it does feel cool to nail that every once in a while. But man, like I feel like I've wasted, and it could just be the way that I've gone about this game in terms of how I have found every path that is not critical path that has led to, like, I was telling Tim the other day, I went about 3 hours without ever talking to the co-star of the game. because I feel like I was just finding every path. And, I talked about my experience with Dragon Age Veilguard and how I feel like I had the best possible experience, and other people who also played the game who chose different dialogue. And it's like, oh, that's a worse choice of dialogue. And hearing that now, I could see why you wouldn't like this game. But the stuff that I chose worked out great for me.
Yeah.
There may be a chance that you play this and you happen to go all the right paths, and it leads you and you are finding the progression hooks really, really good and satisfying in that way. But for me, it's like I feel like I have played this game in the exact wrong way they don't want you to play it, and because of that, it has just led to me
They
being.
shouldn't let you play it that way. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Your review, even if it is somebody out there has this perfect run and does everything or does blah, blah, like you played it the way you played it. That's the way the games let you play it.
And there's too many. Again, the problem is there's too many good things out right now. That Arc Raiders had just come out. It's like, I don't want to fucking play Possessors right now. Like I want to.
Such a bummer.
And when I remembered we had the Lumines kit, I was like, oh, thank fucking God I can play Lumines and just like stop playing this game that is frustrating the shit out of me right now. Yeah, I do not recommend this game right now, and I don't unfortunately see a whole lot of good for this game, seeing how most of the team has been laid off.
Yeah, you describe my personal hell, by the way. Like for me, as somebody who talks about Metroidvanias now, like obviously there's some Metroidvanias I really love, but Metroidvania as a keyword doesn't necessarily make me go, oh, I gotta play that, play that game. I think I get more frustrated with some of the not great elements of Metroidvanias, namely being lost and hitting like dead ends and finding a new thing, being like, oh, this is the way, and finding a dead end. You describing that in Possessors, like it did something to me emotionally where I'm like, oh man, I can't do that.
What was your time like though with it, Blast? I know it was limited, but
honestly, I'm actually surprised to hear Andy's review because we haven't really talked about it. I feel like the last time maybe we had checked in about it was like the day we got the code or whatever, and I think it sounded like y'all were kind of like, oh, this seems really cool, because like it was, you get the first item, which is the mouse pad or whatever, and then starting to get the feel of, oh, okay, it's called Possessors because you're fighting all these items that essentially got possessed or whatever. I thought that was a cool premise. I thought visually the game is doing cool things, and then the control wise, it having like these platform fighting controls also seemed cool. But then I played it one session, got into exploration, and it was kind of like, I'm waiting to see what people say about this, because I'm not automatically vibing with the exploration and gameplay flow of it, but I also know how much of that is usually a me thing when it comes to Metroidvanias versus like the actual quality of the game. And so I was very fascinated to hear what Andy and other people had to say about it. I kind of bounced off of it.
Here's another big problem, Les. I'm also playing a really good Metroidvania called Metroid Prime Remastered.
Yeah.
And that's a real good Metroidvania.
Don't get me started.
and so I'm playing that for the first time and getting even more frustrated at the lack of progress that and just like the lack of appeal to make me want to come back to something. It's not doing enough for me to want to like follow the carrot at the end of the stick in the way that whenever you'd be stuck in something like I mentioned great Metroidvanias a little while ago, but like something like Animal Well, a game with no combat, was so fascinating and interesting, and you want to keep on figuring out what these puzzles are, and something even like Silksong, again, talking about how awesome Silksong is. Even when you would be stuck, you were still finding things that would take you to new discoveries. And again, I said the most basic take ever was like, this is the Elden Ring of Metroidvanias, and how that you kept on uncovering new things, and it always felt like there was something new there. Here, I just like, it's just frustration for me at every turn.
It's funny how you mentioned Metroid Prime, and I have like the opposite emotional feeling where like I just get happy inside when you mentioned Metroid Prime, and like even when you said Animal Well, right? Like, this is what I want to do in 2031. I want to do the Metroidvania. Well, it's because my years are close.
He keeps booking all the years. It's Tactical 2026, but also Yakuza, maybe, I forget.
No, I never said Yakuza. They keep trying to put words in my mouth.
2028 is something else.
I want the year of Metroidvania brainwashing for me, where I just play all of the best Metroidvanias back to back to back until I come out of the other side of it where I'm like, best genre ever.
Gotcha.
Because I feel like, between the ones that I fucking love, I need to play Prince of Persia Lost Time.
You do. You're so
That's
close.
all I got to do.
You're
Have
so
you played
close because
Guacamelee?
like I get what you're saying,
Yeah.
but I'm also like, you're wrong, Bless.
Yeah.
Like you love Metroidvania. You just don't like the ones that you don't like. And I think that like unfortunately, I think there's been a couple of those that have soured your taste on it.
I think that's what it is. When I'm playing a Metroidvania that I'm not all the way into, I hate the experience. But when I'm playing a Metroidvania that I love, I'm like, oh, greatest thing of all time.
Yeah. Even talking about the inconveniences that Metroid Prime Remastered has hit me with, where it being an older game and not having these modern quality of life improvements, where I am adventuring and I die fully and then I have to restart at my last save, and that was an hour and a half ago because I decided not to save and there was no autosave, so I lost the progress, including the last tool that I had just gotten. And it's like, oh fuck, that's like such an old school thing.
Yeah.
But I realized, like, okay, that's an old school thing that, you know, modern games will likely kind of fix. And even that not being enough to make me want to stop that experience, because the game is so solid and so well crafted. This goes down as like one of the bigger disappointments for me. It'd be one thing if I came into this not really with a lot of high hopes, but the demos felt so good to play.
And to me, man, like, talk about disappointment. Like, you put me onto this game like many months ago. I don't remember when it was, but you see this and it's like, holy shit. Like, I don't think there can be anything I think that looks cooler than this game. Like, everything that I enjoy, it's there. And then you're telling me it's a Metroidvania that plays like Smash Brothers. I'm like, holy crap, this sounds like a dream. You get the Hades style art and story stuff. It's like every single thing was just adding up to like, this is probably going to be a game that I'm annoying about for the rest of my life. And a little over an hour in, I'm like, oh man, like it's just a little too slow, and it just doesn't feel as good as it looks to me. And that's something that I also said about Prince of Persia Lost Crown. Like, the first hour is, I think, the worst part of that game. And a lot of it's just because I'm not getting abilities fast enough. Like, this isn't, like, I'm not able to kind of move around and get around the way I want to. Like, and even if I know where I'm trying to go on the map, like, getting there was kind of getting in the way. I'm feeling that a lot here, but I was hoping that there'd be the Prince of Persia moment for me where it's like, oh, it's clicking. I was fucking wrong. This is great. And when I came into work and you told me like, oh man, I'm 12 hours in and I'm not. It's not. I'm like, oh, what? Like, there's nothing I could have expected less from you, but it did reaffirm to me. I'm like, like, I even after that conversation, I booted it up again, tried to get a little farther, and I was like, I don't think this one has the stuff.
Man, I hope we're all wrong, because I do have it on my fantasy critic, and it's one of like my last hopes. My fantasy critic,
dude, there may be a reality where everybody just played it in the right way, where they're getting all the unlocks at the right times, and they didn't.
I don't think
like
so,
I don't know, man. It really bums me out, and I legitimately hope I'm wrong. In to that people go, no, there is, dude. Just wait until this story turn to that story beat. Like, oh shit, okay, yeah, let me go revisit that. But for right now, it's like, I've never wanted to uninstall something faster.
Man, this is the last time I'm betting on indie games for my fantasy critic. You know,
I'm telling you, man.
Like,
they fucked me this year.
These fucking indie devs. They make the game look cool on the box and put it
out. Man, yeah.
I need Mixtape to come out this year.
Not looking good.
I'm giving it up.
Yeah.
I need Lumines to review amazing.
I think you're gonna be okay.
Oh,
yeah, you'll be all right there. Yeah.
Lumines will be an 86 for you.
I think I need more than that. I need like an 89. Like, it's gonna be one of those fantasy critic races where it's like every point counts now.
Do you think it reviews? This is the fun of us of like, we're recording this before other reviews.
Time capsule.
Do you think this reviews worse than Tetris Effect, which has a 90, I think, on OpenCritic?
Well, after Greg talked about it, because for me, I'm like, oh, this shit is like a masterpiece. But then, like, hearing Greg's thoughts, and then also I looked up Lumines or Electric Symphony or whatever the fuck it's called. Was that it?
Electronic Symphony?
Electronic Symphony.
You're saying electric, sorry.
Yeah, I looked up that, and I didn't realize how much that does look like Lumines Rise. Like, I guess for me, Lumines has always looked like the PSP version.
But it's also that weird thing of like, I don't mean to throw the baby out with the bathwater here, but I mean, I think there's going to be so many people reviewing this as their first Lumines game.
Majority of people.
And again, not to mention, I like I've played them all, and I gave it an 8.5, right? Because I just think it's like, I've been here, done that. I like the accoutrements of other games better.
Yeah. I need 10s though.
Sure.
We do have just a couple more minutes, so
I really thought you were about to say we have super chat. I was like, how?
I do just want to slide in. I beat Hades 2 this week.
Hey!
Roll credits, got it all, and like, my God, what a video game! I don't want to get into too much. Really didn't like the ending, and that seems to kind of be a common consensus after I looked online. It doesn't affect my like thoughts on the game overall. Like, it definitely is sad to like leave on such a like note, just because everything else is like so incredible. But to me, the story of this game, it's the characters and the journey and all of that stuff, which I do think is immaculate. And the end wrap up stuff, take it or leave it. I'll leave it, but I don't think that really changes the fact that having to play the game through as many times as you did was just beautiful. Like I couldn't believe like how many times I'd beat Chronos or whatever you're doing without spoiling stuff, and be like, I have to do that again. Like, I don't know that I really want to. And I'd start the run, totally different loadout, and be like, God, I love this. Am I going to be able to accomplish what I'm trying to do with this totally different loadout? Yes, I am. And then you just keep going back, and like maybe you fail one of them, and you're like, how did I lose? I've been destroying this time and time again. And like,
I was hoping for pizza, but now they're telling me I gotta like eat a dish with shrimp in it. I'm like, shit. All right, cool. Let's get some shrimp linguine.
You love shrimp.
And it's that, but from just pure gameplay, man. It's like literally just such a gameplay focused experience. And when there's so many variations that make you love the gameplay even more, where at the end of it, I'm like, I don't have a favorite loadout. Like, I feel like I just enjoyed all of them so much. And that's so special to me, because it's the definition of all right, one more match type thing. And when you're talking about 30, 40-minute runs for these things, it's
They're
like
long, dude.
It can kind of like be like, oh man, am I really about to do this again? And this weekend I was like, I'm trying to plan out the rest of my year. I'm trying to like just check these things off. And I was like, all right, I got to do some damage on Hades 2 this weekend, or else I'm not going to be able to. So I had planned to get like 3 more max victories. I ended up playing for like 12 hours and like getting it all done. And that was like in like 2 sittings essentially, which is very uncommon for me. But I really was like, I got to go again. I got to, man. And they just kept adding the little story beats and new things that I'm like, how am I this many runs into the game and still getting some brand new character and brand new like room that gives you an upgrade? That I'm like, God damn, man.
Yeah.
Hades 2, game of the generation, game of the ever.
It's the flexibility of like the builds that they give you, and also how there are so many different builds that feel OP, right? Like every run, I'm getting a new thing where I'm like, that seems really strong. All right, let me go all the way here. And it's to your point that, I don't have a favorite build either. Like I have like strategies that I implement based off of what talisman that I want to be, or keepsake that I want to begin with, right? But like even with that, there are times where I'm kind of like, all right, this small thing kind of went off as far as where I was headed. So let me just shift my play style, and then I discovered something completely new that I absolutely love. And so. Yeah, dude. Hades 2 is I know when we're barreling towards game of the year right now. It feels like Clear Obscure is that's the contender. I feel like that's the talk of the town as far as what's probably gonna, take it away. But I can see Hades 2, at least for us, for the kind of funny conversation, being a very big contender as far as that game of the year spot.
What about Dispatch?
I mean that.
What about
Donkey
Donkey Kong?
though?
Anything?
I mean, I feel like me and Tim are on the Donkey Kong train.
I love Donkey Kong.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
How much you love Donkey Kong?
I love it a lot.
Put it
I think it's
number
really okay.
Bet. Don't be a coward.
Tim, please mark some time on the calendar free for yourself in the next couple weeks before we eventually hit breaks for you, me, and Blessing to do a kind of funny stream for Wind Blown.
Yes.
Is that
Please.
out?
No, but it's just had like its 3rd major massive update with like
Nice.
all sorts of big shit that they're adding, new worlds, new all sorts of stuff. So that's one that I have not hopped into since I played with Bless and Mike on stream, and that was like forever ago in terms of early access time.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of cool additions.
Barrett, I saw you pop up there.
I was just
shaking his
talking
head.
about Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Gotcha.
And it probably being the Ratchet and Clank for this year. Where it will be on all of our lists, maybe some higher than others.
See, that's how I feel about Claire.
That shit's not going to be on my list.
We're gonna have, like,
Whoa!
3 what?
That's APATE.
DK
That would
is not gonna
stand
be on
for
my
it.
list.
Damn, it's crazy.
DK, really?
No.
You weren't feeling it?
I mean, like, not enough to. It just didn't pull me back to it. And I think this year's is way too loaded.
I think that's fair.
Voted you.
Here, you put it in at 5, and I'll put the altars at 10.
Greggy,
What
where
about
were you
Citizen
at?
Secret 2?
I saw you post this when you were doing your travels, and I'm wondering this as we wrap up the show. You posted blueprints starting it up.
Yeah.
Where are you at with that in terms of
I played it
interest
that
going back?
morning. I played 2 or 3 hours at the coffee shop with my notebook out. I gave it. It's not even that I gave it the college try. I love blueprints. That's a great thing. It's just it doesn't have the hooks in me that I'm like, I gotta come back. I gotta find
That
that
ain't no
room. I
break
gotta
game.
finish the thing. It's just not the mini puzzles on the way there. They aren't nearly as engaging as Escape Academy. You know what I mean?
no,
Come on.
It was way better than
okay.
Escape Academy. I
I'm out
love
there
Escape
and I'm
Academy.
doing
That's
fun
crazy.
stuff.
That's
in the
an-
academy.
that's
I'm
an
fucking
insane
around,
thing to say.
fucking around. But yeah,
You
it's
can't
like
even say that as a joke.
the puzzles are. Sorry, I apologize.
You can't even joke about that.
I had a great time making my notes, and then an hour later, I was like, oh, double back to that note and get that code that I had seen on that day. But it's like I really enjoyed that morning with it and put it down, and it's like not. It hasn't called me back. That's what I got to do.
This is what
But
I was
again,
like.
it's because that's the experience of that game. It's why Telling Lies worked so well for me back in the day. The Sam Barlow game is it was like I had a Saturday afternoon with a cup of coffee and just sat and played the entire
Man,
thing.
I
immortality.
wouldn't brush off Blueprints getting onto our list, Blessing, because there have been so many games that have gotten onto our list
No,
that like
it'll be on our list.
Yeah,
for sure.
it won't be high.
I'm just talking about our number one spot.
Oh,
which
yeah.
like let's not count out Dispatch. I know you mentioned it, but like
See how it
that's gonna be the ratchet.
Wednesday, you, me, and Barrett, we're playing all day, talking all day in the afternoon. Late Gamescast gonna be great.
I can't wait.
I love.
Also,
Bless
toss it.
calling
I
up-
put in assets a new runner up. You all want to go play these weird games? Here's a better game, but we'll talk about it when we get there.
Bless calling out Greg right there. Like you can't even joke about that. Reminding me of when that one dude in the Twitch chat told Mike that NBA 2K was trash. You can't say that.
You
dude.
can't say that.
You can't be saying that. Like he acted like
Why?
it was the weirdest take ever.
Over on Steam, there's an animal sale, and somebody on our subreddit put up My Little Puppy. There's a saying that when you depart this world, the dog who went ahead will warmly welcome you.
Oh.
While spending time in dog heaven, Bongu, the Welsh corgi, suddenly catches his dad's scent. Now he embarks on a journey to meet his dad.
Get
Will
outta
Bongu be able? I'm going to play the shit out of this.
Oh,
Weep
man.
at my.
I know,
Just
no,
weep at my
no.
rock ally.
Don't
Jen
do
watched
this to
whatever
me.
garbage Netflix show. I'm just sobbing over this dog.
Never finish never.
It wasn't as good as My Little Puppy.
Monster. All right, everybody, let us know in the comments below what you're thinking about Luminous Arise and Possessors. And stay tuned for a jam-packed day of super
Big
fun,
day.
kind of funny content. Until next time, love you all. Goodbye.